Question 50. It looks harmless enough that it's going to be a standard sort of travel question, but it gets quite interesting in part B. Let's start with part A. No difficulty here. You're starting at a point A when t is 0, and this car's travelling all the way down here to point B after 30 seconds. And part A just says, well, how far is it? You've got the formula here. S equals 25t minus 0.3t squared. At t equals 30, we get S equals 25 times 30 minus 0.3 times 30 squared. And that just works out to be 480. So the distance from one place to the next is 480 meters here to here. Now the thinking. The second car is going in the opposite direction. So that's starting here and going that way. It's starting with initial velocity of 15 and it's accelerating. It's accelerating in this direction at 0.1. Now I can figure out the distance it travels from B. The distance from B is a standard Suvet equation. S equals ut plus a half at squared. So the distance is 15 times by t plus a half, so half of 0.1 is 0.05 t squared. And that is the distance that it's travelled from B. So I could put t equals 1 in here, it would find out how far it was. T equals 2 in here, I could find out how far it was from B. But the question doesn't want us to do that. The question wants us to find out when the two cars pass one another. And so what I want to know is, well, how far is it from A at that point? Well, look, here's some thinking. If you knew that that distance there happened to be 180 meters, you could figure out what this distance here was now, couldn't you? Because you know the whole thing's 480. So this would be 480 take 180. So that would be 300 meters. So this distance here is 480 take away this distance here. And that's what I'm going to write here. That what we're going to have is the distance from the second car is from A is equal to 480 take away this thing. Made a mistake there. Take away that whole thing. And so that is 480 take away 15t take away 0.05t squared. And what we're asked to do is find out when the two cars pass one another. And we've now got two formulas. This is the formula for the second car, and earlier up there we had the formula for the first car. So what I'm going to do now is put these two things equal to each other. So I've got 25t minus 0.3 t squared from the first car equals 480 minus 15t minus 0.05 t squared from the second car. If I drag all of that over to one side, I've got 0.25 t squared minus 40t plus 480 equals 0. Solving that on my calculator, I get t equals 146.9 seconds. Well, clearly that's not going to be right, because that's not in the 30 seconds of the journey. So the second quadratic answer gives me 13.067 seconds. That is the time at which they meet. But even that isn't the question. The question asks for when, not when, but where do they meet? So where do they meet is S equals 25t minus 0.3t squared. Put that value in here and we get that they meet at 275.45 meters from A. And you could check this if you put this value back in, or put it all the way back in this sort of distance from B question in there. You'll find out that that distance plus that adds up to the 480 that you had earlier. A lot of thinking there in part B.